Everybody can stand, say pledge allegiance, getting started. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome all. Let's see our audience is full again. All right. Public forum sign up, so back there for anybody to sign up if they choose to participate in the public forum. Announcement.
Well, it is, you have on your agenda license appreciation week and read the resolution. That's the only announcement that I have for right now. So I'm gonna.
Very good. Appreciation for licensed employees. All right, resolution acknowledged May 8th to the 12th, 2023. Appreciation week in the Service School District. Whereas the teachers make public schools great, and whereas teachers work to open students' minds to ideas, knowledge, and dreams, and whereas teachers keep American democracy alive by laying the foundation for good citizenship, and whereas teachers fill many roles as listeners, explorers, role models, motivators, and mentors. And whereas teachers continue to influence us long after our school days are only memories, now therefore, we, the members of the Board of Directors for the Jervis School District #1, hereby declare our appreciation to our teaching staff and acknowledge May 8th through the 12th, 2023 to be Teacher Appreciation Week. Be it further resolved that we urge administrators, teachers, parents, students, and others from our community to join us in recognition and dedication, recognizing the dedication and hard work of these individuals. By a resolution of the Board of Directors this 18th day of April 2020. Very fancy, very nice.
And tonight we do have Eliana Bell, who is the president of the Teachers Union, joining us online.
Oh,
And so Eliana, if you are able to join us, I know the board would like to thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a little different than when I normally am in Zoom. I don't look like I have controls to a camera or anything like that, but I'm here.
Thank
And I
you so much.
appreciate it.
yes.
Thank you so much for all your hard work. We really appreciate you.
Thank
Yes,
you very
thank you.
much. Yes,
And
I will
of
pass
course,
those sentiments along to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And the
Appreciate that.
week of, we'll be celebrating the licensed staff with some treats and goodies and things like that. But our board meeting just happens. But at next month's board meeting happens after the appreciation week is over. So that seemed a little odd.
Yeah, no, this works. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Eliana.
you.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's it on the announcements. Anything else?
nope, there's something else.
Okay.
No.
Approval of minutes.
Marina, did you have anything?
I was good.
Nope.
I move that the Jervis District #1 Board of Directors approves the regular and executive session of March 16th, 2023 for the approval of minutes.
Motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good form. Oh, I need to read this. Public participation in the board meetings, school district policy BDH-AR statements of by members of the public should be brief, concise. The chairperson may, at his or her discretion, establish time limit on discussion or oral presentation by a visitor on any topic. Speaker may offer objective criticism to school operations and programs, but the board will not hear complaints concerning individual school personnel. The chairperson will direct complaints to the appropriate means for the board's consideration and position for legitimate complaints involving individuals. This time, member of the public are invited to present any concerns to the board. Is there anybody signed up?
Do you have anybody signed up? Is there anyone signed up?
I don't think so. None, 0 to 0. Okay. Your reports. We have student council.
Andrew, do you have anyone from student council tonight, or are you gonna do it in your?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it in my report. Ashton had a family thing.
Okay, all right. Well, then you're up, Andrew.
All right. I figured that's why that was up there.
You can't trick him.
Raining outside. Nobody noticed.
Has it stopped?
Yeah, got worse actually as we came in, so that's a good thing.
Crazy.
All right, well, another PowerPoint. I'm gonna start just by kind of going over some of the youth truth data from Jervis High School. So we're gonna have 2 sessions kind of reviewing the data with staff. This last Wednesday, we had a couple of our seniors join me in a presentation, and we presented data from the family and the student surveys from Youth Truth to the staff. Asked them to kind of ponder a few things with that. And a couple of weeks from now, we'll present the staff data. And then, I mean, as you guys know, this is all trying to plan for next year and really try to troubleshoot where we're at. So, yeah. So Youth Truth data results, and I'm just going to present all 3 of the biggest data points to you guys from family, student, and staff. So the family data, it's kind of blocked there, but we had 11% of our families at Jervis High School complete the survey. So compared to other participating high schools in the Youth Truth Survey, highest rated themes at Jervis High School. So the positives, relationships, and school safety, according to our families. And then lowest rated themes were resources and engagement. And as we all know, we're going for a bond again. So, okay, that kind of goes with the same theme. Compared to other participating high schools, our highest rated question from families was families and teachers care about each other. And then lowest rated question was my school has the resources necessary to prepare my child for the future. And so it was interesting. It was, I'll preface by saying it was very interesting presenting this to staff because I think everyone just kind of went, yep, I agree with that.
As we do.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone agrees they walk into Jervis High School and people care about each other and it's a warm, welcoming environment most of the time. Resources is going to be the biggest thing.
And when did they take the survey again? That was November, right? That they did
I believe it
this.
was October, November.
October.
Yeah. Staff data, 102% were overachievers with the staff taking surveys. Yeah. Highest rated themes was professional development and support and school safety. Staff felt like they I guess are getting good professional development and felt safe at work. Lowest rated themes were engagement and relationships, which is interesting when you compare that to some of the other groups of people who took the survey. So highest rated question was, I receive regular feedback from my colleagues. I think what you find in our building is staff collaborate a lot among each other. And then the lowest rated question was, my school empowers me to use creativity in how I do my work. So again, sometimes you look at this and you're like, oh, this is really hard to ponder, but it's all trying to plan for next year. And then student data, that's not 102%. I forgot to change that. But I do think we had 80-something% of students complete it, which I think is the highest we've had among the student body. It was like 86% of the students completed the student survey, which is great, especially for high schoolers. Highest rated themes were belonging and peer collaboration, going along with what we talked about earlier with students feeling comfortable in school and culture. Lowest rated themes were academic challenge and relationships. I look at that and I'm like, how could you feel belonged and collaborate with your peers, but then score low in relationships? The questions are different when you take the survey, so that's something that will need to be, dug into deeper.
Sure.
To see what that really means. Academic challenge has always been an area that we've scored. And so that's a common theme. Highest rated question among the students was, I enjoy school most of the time. And the lowest rated question was, I try to do my best. Yeah. Yep. And so I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you haven't played around. You can spend hours a whole weekend messing with everything in the youth truth, really playing around. So we had a student team and we had a staff team really dive into it, and they geeked out on it and they loved it. And so we have bar graphs and charts and everything all over the place. But it's really the next step is we'll present the staff data to staff and then take all three of these assessments or surveys and really try to come up with some kind of map for next year. What that looks like, it could be a million different ways we're going to do it. But that's what we're trying to do the last 7 years we have. We're right in the middle of forecasting for next year. We had an 8th grade parent night. We had 25 families attend. Not bad. Obviously, we're always shooting for 100. 25 families. So when I say families, I think we had more than 25 incoming freshman students there, because the way it worked out. But 25 families attended. We gave presentations just about, it was 8th grade team came in, talked about everything end of 8th grade. And then we talked about what's the expectation for high school as you transition. And 8th graders have, I believe, officially completed forecasting. So that's good. Forecasting for their high school classes. First time they actually get to choose what they kind of want to take. Actually, I know that's been going on at the middle school recently too, but a little bit more freedom with forecasting for high school. We're currently presenting and getting ready to forecast for our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students for next year. Waka, hoping to send the exact same amount of students to Waka Willamette Career Academy next year as we have this year. Becky Later has been working really hard at that. The deadline is set this week for students to apply. She has told me she has a number of students who are going to apply but have not completed those final steps to get their applications in. So there's a big push for that this week on her behalf to try to get students to get them.
Andrew, are the ones that are already in there and are going into their senior year, do they have to reapply or do they just?
They are continuing.
Okay, thank
So
you.
we're really just, we're having the sophomores apply for the junior program. Yeah, it's
Thank
that kind
you.
of, yeah. Yep, and then we kind of targeted some students that we thought Waka would be a really good fit for. Specifically students that would be interested in those type of career paths and maybe weren't finding value in their education at Jervis High School at the current place and time. And so Becky spent half a day at Waka taking about 5 to 10 kids out there. And I've touched base with a few of them. They're like, I think I might want to do that. I think I might want to do welding. I think I might want to be a diesel or whatever it was. And so we're kind of using it as like a stepping stone to some of our students that just don't know what they want to do or just aren't motivated with their traditional classroom. And then I've mentioned before, Chemeketa Brooks, that looks like it's hopefully going to be a go. And so we're forecasting with our current juniors to hopefully see how many of them would be interested in doing an EMT program at Chemeketa Brooks next year. And we should be able to send about 5 of those students. And they'd spend half their days at Chemeketa Brooks, be fully EMT certified by the time they graduate at the end of next year.
That's very cool.
Which would be awesome, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we're gonna see, we might have 1, we might have 50. We'll see how many kids are really interested in that kind of thing. And then we're still in the process of master scheduling for next year and all that kind of stuff. So everything's a little bit still up in the air at this point in time. But we'll have a few more elective choices, hopefully. Specifically, right now, we're hoping to offer journalism and then yearbook and print production would be another class we're hoping to offer next year, which would be cool. So. College and career, 46% FAFSA completion rate so far. That's something Ms. Orpez has been pushing pretty hard. She's been doing raffles every week, handing out prizes to kids who complete their FAFSA. They're doing a whole new makeover in the College and Career Center in the library. So they'll be working on that. I talked about Gear Up at our last board meeting. The Gear Up retreat is this week on Thursday and Friday. I'm not sure if it goes throughout the weekend or not, but Sophie and Andrea, and actually Becky later is going to go as well to that. And they'll be able to partner with a whole bunch of other Gear Up people and schools throughout the entire state and just collaborate and really figure out what this is going to look like for Jervis. That's that 7-year college and career planning grant that we got. Going to take students to a Brooks Shemeketa open house on April 25th. Field trip to PALS in Portland on April 27th.
Right,
English teachers are taking that.
right next to my work. That's in the Pearl where
Yeah.
I'll feed on there.
And we've done that field trip in the past. Kids love it. Pacific University field trip on May 2nd, and then we're going to U of O on May 9th. So I keep pushing teachers, get kids out of the building, please. We took way too many field trips last year, and this year it's just not as many, and it's like we want to get them out of there. Because lunchtime's a lot better when. Anyway. So seniors, it's that time of year, we're planning for everything seniors. They got 7 weeks left. And I've met with a couple of them the last couple of days and they're like, oh, I got 7 weeks. And I'm like, no, you have 7 weeks. It's gonna fly by really fast. Don't think that's a lot of time because it's not. Graduation is on June 10th this year. Same kind of situation in the gym. It'll pretty much be the same thing we did last year. It'll be June 10th. It'll be in the gym. There'll be a car parade prior to the ceremony that we're getting worked out. We'll do all those same things this year. And there'll be some sort of senior trip. And then, just a few upcoming events, we have Spring Blood Drive is on April 25th. That's next week. Or National Honor Society runs that. Lindsay McCarger, who's our senior advisor, is organizing Macho Volleyball as a fundraiser for the seniors. That's on April 26th at 6 p.m. in the gym. Students sign up and we did, what was it, last year? A couple of years ago. I think it was last year. That was a really, really fun event. FFA plant sales are going to start on April 28th for supporting FFA. Prom is ready to go on April 29th. We're currently still selling tickets. It's at 8 p.m. at Vanderbeck Farm in Mount Angel. And Mr. and Miss Jervis pageant is going to be on May 6th at 6 p.m. Yeah, I think that was it. Oh. Hey. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
Thank you. Joe, good job. Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna ask if we could have. Oh, okay, we're good. Never mind then. We'll go ahead and go at the middle school. Awesome. Come on up, guys.
So I don't have a PowerPoint, but I have people.
Yeah.
So right here is perfect. So I'm going to introduce them and then I'll talk afterwards. So this is, sorry, I'm fighting a cold and I'm telling my voice, I apologize. So this is Lucas Hill. He is the language arts, 7th grade language arts teacher, and he's also a leadership teacher. And this is his leadership class. I'll let him introduce and take it from there.
All right, thank you very much.
Go after you.
All right, fantastic. So we are the leadership class at Jervis Middle School. We're going to tell you about what we've been up to this year. But first, I'd like members of my class to introduce themselves. So if you could say your first and last name so that everybody knows who you are.
My name is Fred.
That's good.
Nice and loud, everyone.
Hi, I'm Jose Santos.
Hi, my name is Angela Zepeda. That's how it's mentioned.
Right, we have some prepared stuff that we've done, so I just wanted to say, and I did write this down, but I really do. I feel very lucky to get to work with this class, because in this class represents the very best of Jervis Middle School. We're gonna tell you about some of the things that we've done so far this year.
I was talking about the No One Eats Alone Day program. So as you all know, social isolation is one of the biggest problems in the world, sadly. And every day kids go into new schools and they have no one to talk to. But that's when these programs are just really good. These programs are to help people or kids make new friends so they get to talk to people every day. And that's basically the No One Eats Alone program. Now moving on, I'll be talking about assemblies. In this assemblies, the teachers give awards to the students, like for personality or academic A's, best grade of the class. And in assemblies, we also have activities or games planned by the leadership. Hi, at the week for Spirit Week, we have planned 2 Spirit Weeks this year with different day themes. And now we're gonna move on to posters. We have made posters recently to celebrate Earth Day.
You should give a presentation about our American countries and assembly celebrate Heritage Month earlier this year. And recently put up something about purity and security. We have at least published 2 issues of the Village Student Newsletter, and we are working on our 3rd issue. There are copies of the last issue from the
And you're picking out those.
I gave a speech about Women's History Month and how Women's History Month started and how it is now, about how women deserve the rights and now they have it. And also, we have also organized and run 2 dances for the school, spring dance and winter dance. They turned out good. We had a photo booth, a dancing group, snack group. And we only sold it for tickets, so which was good. A lot of kids got it, they're happy. And that's it. I also did the spring dance, and right now we're working on the mural for the middle school gym. It was designed by Laura Barzagen, and the leadership kind of painting it, and then that's the picture of it.
I should mention that Angie mentioned that we sold things for tickets at the dance. Teachers give out tickets to students as like a part of a PBIS token reward system. And those tickets are used in raffles for prizes and stuff. And we also, on Fun Fridays, we sell treats, healthy snacks through Bundle Linda. For money, when we raise a little bit of money, we take that, we put it into snacks and things for the dances that we've done. So the class has actually been financially self-sustaining this year, which feels really, really good. I also want to mention that this year we made posters to celebrate Black History Month. And probably the thing that I'm the most proud of this year is we had a really successful canned food drive where we worked to collect food, and we collected more than 1,000 food items for Jervis families. So that felt really, really good. These guys are amazing, and they're capable of doing such incredible things. And do you have any questions for us about middle school leadership or what we do?
No. Thank you. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you guys want to say anything else? You guys anything? Thank you so much for being here. Oh, what did Mariana have? Yeah, she didn't show up.
Oh, never mind.
Did we get that one?
Oh, Fernandez? No.
No, Lily got that.
It's all okay, never mind.
We're good.
Good job. Way to make sure.
You don't want to leave you, but
I
it's
mean, it's spending the time to come in and.
I'll let them know that they can leave if
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
to.
yeah.
You guys, I got cookies for you over here if you want some.
Sweet, thank you.
But you're staying for the whole thing. No, I'm not. I'm done.
Mr. Hill's been doing a great job of leadership and I said to him that they really are the heart of the school. They really do. They bring fun stuff that is happening in school. That like they said, the school spirit, the dances, the good stuff, like the canned food drive, that's all done from leadership. To get into leadership is 7th period. And it's a semester long, so it's their elected class, so they do request it. They have to get assigned just a signature from a teacher that yes, you can be in leadership. And then it has to be approved by Mr. Hill and myself to be able to be in leadership. So they are the cream of the crop. They really are. We don't have to be an A student to be in leadership. You just have to want to be in leadership and see good stuff in you and want to be in leadership. It's a really, really great group of kids, and Israel
Anybody want some
does a
cookies?
great job with it.
Thank you.
I want a cookie?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
inviting me, Joss.
No problem, thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
So, don't really have much more than that, and also because of my voice, I apologize. On my administrative report that I did, I usually try to put student of the month. We were delayed for various reasons. So this coming Friday is when we're going to do the March student of the month, and the theme is integrity. And I don't know if you guys know how that's even picked, but it's for our advisory teacher. Will look at their advisory classes and look at the characteristic, and then they are the ones that pick the student. So each of our advisory teachers would pick those. And then the academic ACE for March is correlated. So the 6th grade math teacher would pick a 6th grade math. So they would look at all of their classes, and the 7th grade language arts would look at all of their classes. So that's how they work. That would also then include PE and health. That's also in the academic ACE. The last thing that we did in March was the Classified Appreciation Week. And I think that's a really, really important time. Not saying that teachers aren't, for goodness sake, but teachers seem to have the spotlight on them a lot because they are the teachers and they're a front and center. That sometimes these people get forgotten, and oh my gosh, the wheels of the wagon would fall off if we didn't have these people. These people are so, so important. And leadership actually did things for them and put signs out and posters out, and did things for all of these people through the week to try to show them at least a little bit of how important they are to the school. Spring conferences. I understood the evening conferences for some reason weren't all that well attended this year. I don't know why. And unfortunately, you don't really have time to call them and say, hey, come in, because we only have an hour left. So grab those, take your slippers off and put your shoes on and come on in. So it's really hard. For the afternoon, we had better attendance, and the ones that didn't, and we were calling to say, come on in the evening. But we had really good attendance in the fall, struggled to get those ones in the spring to come in. I wanted to talk a little bit about the student showcase. Personally, I thought that it was really good. I would have liked to have seen more students and more parents come, but I think for our first one, I think it was really successful. And I thought it was really cool because, as you guys know, middle schoolers, especially 8th graders, won't admit that they like anything. They do, but they won't admit it. And they were there. I saw them like pointing out things to their parents and talking to their parents about stuff that they did. You know that they're proud of it. They just don't want to admit it. And so this is a really good thing for them to come, and yeah, they get to come and have some food, but they get to show off some of their work too. And we're really proud of it. So that's very, very cool. Science state testing has finished for 8th grade, and we're going to be doing something different for our state testing this year. Site council got together and said, we really want to make it important for them. We want them to go in and take it seriously, not to just go in and, oh, I haven't done a C lately, so I'm going to color in C. So instead of spacing it out for several weeks, what we've decided to do is we're doing it basically in 2 days and possibly a third day. We're taking the entire morning of it's April 25th and 27th. We're taking the entire morning to do math testing. And they're gonna be testing for like an hour and then they go take a 15-minute break and they're gonna get some snacks. Or I've talked to Melinda and she's bringing in special snacks and water. And we're gonna have an assembly ahead of time to let them know how important it is. I'm bribing them with Dutch Bros gift cards that if they pass their state tests, that they will get a $5 Dutch Bros gift card. So first one is language arts. So they have 2 mornings that they'll be doing that, and then there'll be a pickup day after that to try to get the kids that haven't finished. And then the next week, we're gonna be doing math and the same thing. We're gonna be doing testing in the morning with some breaks. Afternoon is like a short classroom schedule. That's what the afternoon is gonna be. And again, we're doing that for math. So it's gonna be fun to see how the test scores do. Just kind of, we're changing that up, trying to make it really, really important. And bribing them. So just to try to take it seriously. So I'm excited to see what the test scores are gonna be. I think they're gonna be good. Fingers crossed. So, questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we have Dusty.
I didn't bring pictures tonight, but I brought a few stories to share. But first, I guess say thank you. You don't have to look very far in neighboring school districts to see that there is toxic culture and adversarial relationships, tensions and conflict that is incredibly detrimental to the schools. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to the school board, for the district leadership, just for being coachable, genuine, for being present, for caring. So Maria, thank you. And Marie, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, thank you, Angie. I know she's excused today. Thank you. Like, I want you to know it does not go unnoticed, especially in such sharp contrast to some areas around us. So thank you for being the kind of people who care enough about our schools to be here, to give that level of service. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just want to share a couple updates about some activities, some staffing, and then the stories that I think are going to humanize why we do all of this. So like the high school, middle school that did the science showcase, we did a STEAM night in place of that second night of conferences. And it was unbelievable. I don't know how to say it. The school was packed. And some of the staff were a little bit, I guess they didn't know what to expect because they hadn't been coming to those monthly family activities. And they didn't know what kind of turnout there would be. And we had 10 different stations. We were making stop action videos with Play-Doh. We were doing Lego creations. We were doing watercolor painting. We were building leprechaun traps for St. Patrick's Day. We were coding Ozobots. We were building the tallest tower, the strongest bridge. And we had this cardboard construction activity where they're building like these massive forts in our music room. And the staff in those outer rooms, when it started, it felt like no one was showing up. The family walked in with the first activities because they looked awesome. And as the night went on, it trickled down and the school was packed beyond capacity. It was awesome. And what's great about it was it was all hands on. Parents doing with kids what every kid would love to do with their parents. And so we had lots of treats. Like, it was an awesome activity. So I appreciate both the teachers, school board, the districts for supporting that. It was awesome to kind of see that level of community involvement in the school. Couple of things. We had a planetarium come as our assembly this month. It was awesome, exciting. They inflated this massive tent inside our gym, and kids got to crawl through this little tunnel and get inside. And basically, it was like a large movie projector that took them through all the planets and constellations. The presenter was phenomenal. He was an educator. He was an entertainer. The kids loved it. We had a couple who kind of panicked in the dark. So we excused those couple, but beyond that, I mean, the kids absolutely loved it. That same day, we had our other students, our fourth graders at OMSI, just for the Marvel exhibit for the planetarium, just awesome. Our newcomers, our English language learners, and a few of their friends on Friday, when it was a no student contact day, went to Silver Creek Falls and had an amazing field trip. And it was all about experiential learning and applying the vocabulary they're learning in school. Because how do you learn to talk about things? We're like, well, I don't know what that is. And so that was kind of like the vision behind this and many other trips like it. Again, just having staff on a day when they wouldn't normally be coming into work. We're so excited to take that group of kids, which was really great. And then just clubs are in our fourth session in full swing. And again, I don't think there's a school in Oregon that has as many elementary school kids doing clubs after school. And I credit that to the staff willing to make it happen, great for getting that grant that's given us the purse to pay for it. And just massive support on every level from our kitchen staff, our custodians. And so just, it is awesome. We have Pokemon Club, which is taken over. We had 85 students, that was their number. And we were gonna limit it, but we decided, no, we gave in. So we just expanded Pokemon. We got 4 sessions of Pokemon. We've got comic book design. We were able to invest in some really amazing Sphero robots that they're able to do some really advanced coding and robotics work. It's just awesome to see. And again, when you ask kids 10, 15 years from now, what do you remember about elementary school? It's not gonna be that math lesson. It's not gonna be that reading assignment. It's gonna be, I remember the relationships and the activities. And so clubs brings out both of those. It's all about relationships. It's all about these activities that our kids wouldn't otherwise be exposed to. And by golly, if we get some computer coders out of this one who start fixing the problems in the world, if we get some engineers out of this, we get some arts, like just hoping to just open their minds to some really amazing things. Yeah, some hiring updates. We are just now coming out of some really impressive interviews for our new, we're calling it Dean of Students post position. It's our assistant principal. And just really impressed with the pool of candidates. We have 7 candidates that apply for the position. And we're going to be interviewing through several stages. Really excited for that. Again, just going to get really intentional about behavior and attendance are 2 of the things that we really need to work on as a school. And I'm so grateful for Dandy's vision in supporting a STEAM TOSA. And we have recommended to hire a most amazing staff member who I think is going to incorporate literacy in a really amazing way, who's going to just create some really awesome opportunities, build partnerships in our community. So we're really excited to have that new position. And then the crazy thing is we're looking to be hiring 7 teachers, which is crazy because we don't have turnover. In fact, out of that, it's 2 retirees. It's one teacher resigning. It's just the way that we shuffled. Dandy opened up 2 new classrooms. We have classroom teachers moving into other roles, but to hire 7 classroom teachers in one swoop is daunting, but we are going to do our darndest to make sure that we hire the right. We want the most talented, we want the right fit. We want people who want to be here in Jervis who aren't going to bounce through. And so we're going to do everything we can to bring in the very best teachers I think just be the right fit for that team. I can tell you that the elementary school staff is amazing. They really are. And I'll share with you 3 stories to humanize that. We stress a lot this idea of care and concern. I'm going to protect confidentiality of these kids, but I want to share enough details to kind of give you the real sense of why these stories matter. So one, I'm just going to call him Mr. H. Mr. H has grown up in hell. I don't know how to describe it. His world has been full of abuse and drugs, parents in prison. He's been dumped and abandoned more times than you can count. He's been shuffled from school to school. The kid wears a jacket. It's his only protection. And he got dumped off at a family's home a couple months ago and showed up at our schools. And I will just tell you, it has been hard. There's no way to beat around that bush. It has been hard. For months, we would get him into the classroom for 10 minutes a day. That was it. But we have been so deliberate and intentional working with him. Last week, he was in school. He's half day. We're stepping towards a full day. So he's there for half day, but he was in his classroom all day, every day for that half day last week. And it's just a tribute to, again, just an incredible amount of energy and effort from so many staff members. And we still got lots of struggles with this kiddo. But again, to see a kid who has now taken his hood off, he started to unzip his jacket, who's developing relationships. He's at recess with his friends, connecting with staff. And I just got to tell you, like, that's a tribute because that stuff doesn't happen in big schools. And so it's a tribute to the kind of education that Jervis provides. Relationships are everything. Another one is a first grader. We'll call him Mr. A. Mr. A would fall asleep in class every day, and he would not wake up. The teacher would have to leave the class to go to the next specials, and I would have to come in and wake this kiddo up. And I could tell you, like, it took a lot to get him up. And then when he woke up, he was the orneriest kid you'd ever met, and he would tantrum and scream and holler and say everything nasty that you could imagine. And we made 4 home visits and worked a lot with parents and older siblings. It just turns out the kiddo, there's nobody at home to tuck him in. He's a 7-year-old who has no bedtime, walks around in his underwear with a device all night long. And of course, he comes to school exhausted. He can't function. And we've had lots of gentle, firm, blunt conversations with family. But over these last few weeks, he's been at school on time, been staying awake. He is so stinking excited to be at school. And again, just a tribute to a small school, kind of the impact that a community like ours will have on a kid like that. And the last one I'll share, it's a little kindergarten. I'll call her Miss A, who is bossy. And she at home has, I think, family, around the. She does. And unfortunately, there's some really hard things at home, and DHS at one point pulled her out of the home here about a month ago, and then things started spiraling. And she has separation anxiety. And last week, there was one day where for 4.5 hours, I was her one-on-one, just trying to pull her off the fence as she just kept trying to literally climb off of campus. And she hit me and kicked me countless times, saying, I wish I could die. I wish you would die. And every horrible thing you can imagine. And probably 1,000 times I just responded, I will never hurt you. I will never yell at you. I will always keep you safe. And that went on day after day. And we've worked with family, and we've pulled in lots of help. And there's an instructional assistant, Rachel Bottomley, who has a lot of empathy for that separation anxiety from what she's been through with her kiddos. And she's been an angel. And she's worked with this kiddo and me. And today she was in class all day and walking through. I visited every classroom today, and just to see her fully engaged. Again, it takes a week of taking every verbal and physical abuse you can imagine from right. But again, like the staff really cares. And now it's a kid who's in the classroom, who's having a great time. So for me, it's an honor to be in a small district with a school board that cares, with district leadership that cares, with the staff that is absolutely amazing. To have, I think, just an incredible amount of support. The buildings are old, but we'll take old buildings because the people inside are really better. So
That's great. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's some great things.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're doing awesome work. It's just really touches my heart.
Yeah.
So I know how difficult your guys' thoughts are. And thank you so much for continuing to push forward and help all of our kids here. And I think you're so right. It is a small school, and that's why we have to, there's just so much more interpersonal relationship that we can have with our children, which is why it's so important that we are able to continue doing that for our kids here in our community. So thank you so much.
And I'm gonna dash. My wife's in Florida with my sisters and my mother. I've got 6 kids at home. Really book, go to the flies.
Henry, I was wondering if we could make just a quick adjustment on the agenda. We have Todd from Frontier Church got to be here, and he's on a time crunch to go get his children as well. So you have on the agenda later on an action item about the budget. But Todd, is there anything you want to share about the budget that the board should be looking at?
First of all, I just want to say, I am going to take 30 seconds to say, I'm so glad I was here tonight to hear the different reports from the different buildings. And I've never met your elementary principal yet, and I'm looking forward to it. That individual gets it, and the culture he's creating, and that staff is rallying around the relationships and activities that kids will remember. That comment you made, 100%. I love that. So kudos to you guys in the building. You're doing a heck of a job, and I'm so glad I was here tonight to hear the reports. Mine's not going to be as fun and exciting. I'm talking about some numbers that Melissa handed me and said, Todd, try not to screw this thing up, and I'll do my best. But basically, we did have we're running under our enrollment projections this year. We did have the unfortunate, for the first time in my history in online schools, it's not very typical in online schools, you need to do staff reductions. More typical in buildings at times, as you know. So we did reduce 3 FTE, 1 elementary and 2 secondary teachers. I think they're all going to land on their feet. They're all quality individuals and teachers. Just unfortunately couldn't keep them due to budget. So we are down, I believe we're going down 400,000 as of next year. We did budget for 350 students this year. As of this week, we're like at 390. So I think we're probably going to come back and kind of meet our marks there. And for next year, we're budgeting at 363. So hopefully we retain most of the students. We always have a little drop off at summer, and then we have to kind of build back up. But we did some other things, not just reduce staff. We did some other things that tighten the budget. We were offering an incredible benefit to our staff for a while there that we put a pause on, and that is matching up to a certain percent of their 403B contribution. So not only they have PERS, but they also have the opportunity to contribute to a 403B, and then we match part of that up to like 6% of their salary. So that was a nice one. We put a pause on that. We did not offer the COLA for next year, but we are offering the STEP. So our staff satisfaction is high. We have a very nice community too, and a small community, which is nice. But overall, we are fiscally healthy. We are fortunate to have Melissa Wolfer on our team now, who does a great job. And those of you who worked with her in the past know what an asset she is. So that's a quick kind of overview. If it helps, and you do have the numbers in front of you, the raw numbers also.
It's an action item later in the agenda. I just wanted to.
have-
Yeah.
Oh, for the budget approval for ours, yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
Thanks,
Thank
Todd.
you.
Hey,
Thank you.
thank
Todd.
you all.
Have a great evening. Okay, thanks for letting me make that adjustment. He's done a great job
problem.
doing tonight as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, looks like Karen's up. I don't have a spotlight or any music, Karen, sorry.
I don't have an audience either.
Oh, well, yeah. Everyone. Would have thought that.
It was, I mean, it's kind of like.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for all of you getting done your statement of economic interest.
You're welcome.
And a little bit
Oh,
of fun of getting to do a Oregon State report where it just doesn't quite flow the way you think it's gonna flow. And so I appreciate the work you guys did on that, because I know it was, there were parts that were frustrating.
It was odd.
Yeah, I know, I know.
And I fill out all weird stuff, so yeah. Karen and I often say that. It was odd.
No, it was the way it's worded.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It was.
I'm like, I could interpret this many ways, so I'm gonna take it the most broadest way, so I don't have, that sounds bad, but that's how I interpret it. So like, if you come back, I'm fine.
I think that's how you have to take it. You can't, if you read into it.
You can't. If you
Just-
do too much, it will drive you nuts,
Yeah.
right? Yep, that's what I.
Oh, yes. Well, I was gonna just go over on page 27. I just thought I would review a little bit of this one. I normally go to the graphics and stuff, and I just thought I'd look at this. And we are 3/4 of the mark through the fiscal year now. And this is all of our funds put together. And so, we always have a little bit of a cushion in our 200s for extra grants if we get them. And you can see just, for instance, the other category, that was our beginning fund balance, which was higher than planned. So, that was good. We carried over a little more than we planned. But your like local sources and state sources, you see that it says we're still anticipating to get like 3.5 million, but we won't, because that's the state school fund. And Frontier Charter had much lower numbers this year than they anticipated. So we will not even come close to that, but also state sources are grants too. So we will not get to that. But in general, everything looks good. If you just look, across like year to date down that column, we've realized revenue of 22 million with a budget of 29 million. And then expenses are at 14 million, go down to the bottom there. And that is because, in June, we do the 3 paychecks, so we get a big push of expenses at the end of the year. So I just thought I'd go over that one just to briefly. And then on page 31, you know, you can see that impact of Frontier Charter's lower numbers too, that, because this is where a big pocket of green where we pay them out and, you know, you can see that coming, you know, forward a little more through that graph, so. And that was just about all. I did say I was gonna go over the budget development, but I think Danny's going over that a little bit. I'm really working hard on it. We're got all the staff figured out, so I'm gonna load them into my template and then start filling in all the other pieces. But I feel like the general fund is going to be very tight, so. I'm hoping I have enough in carryover from this year that will help cushion that a bit.
We anticipated that a little bit.
Yes, we did. It's tight.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
So, for my report, as Karen, alluded to, you know, we've been working on, I call it the 3 Bs actually, budget, bargaining and bond. And so in terms of budget, again, we're in this kind of ever guessing what's going to happen because the legislature hasn't decided on the number. The bargaining is not decided. And so we're just gonna make our best guess and hopefully we guess to a point where the only kinds of adjustments we can make are positive things, not having to go back and cut more things. And so I feel like with the guidance that we've given the the middle school and the high school, that they have made appropriate staff reductions to be able to be prepared to meet the scheduling demands and the programs we want to offer at the elementary school. You know, if by some magic the legislature came in and said, here's 10-2, you're welcome. At 10.2, then the first priority would be to unblend the last elementary classroom. Because we have one more that's still blended. It's a 3-4 or 4-5. I don't remember what the configuration is. Blended classrooms are really hard on teachers and kids. And so that we were able to get rid of one for this coming year, and we want to get rid of the last one. So not necessarily adding staff back to the high school or the middle school at this point. So you're going to start to see some things in your consent agenda where you're going to see staff movement. And so we've got a couple of transfers that are happening because we've had some retirements. And so one of the positions Tony had to cut or was going to cut was able to transfer. So we're not technically, they're not layoffs yet because they're going into open positions.
Yeah, I saw that.
The one actual reduction that you will see tonight is that our music teacher at the elementary school is getting bumped because they had to reduce the music teacher at the middle school and high school. There's just not enough students participating in that program, which is unfortunate. But if we were to cut programs with the least amount of participation right now, that would be the one. And so he has seniority over Jane. And so he will be taking the job and Jane will go to the recall list. So we will do everything in our power to help her find a new job. Got a couple of lines on a music teacher position, so we'll help her with that. I'm not sure how much more you'll actually see in terms of layoffs. There might be a couple of issues with the daycare workers going into preschool, but we believe that there's going to be a couple of openings in preschool that staff is going to resign at the end of the year because of other desires. And so we might just be able to move the daycare worker into a preschool position. So. Not much more to say right now. Karen will be nose to the grindstone now until next week, trying to get the budget all done so that we can get it out to you a few days ahead before the May 2nd budget committee hearing, May 2nd, right? Yeah. And so she's just going to put everything else kind of on the back burner so we can get through that first meeting. So thanks for your understanding on that. We'll talk about the bond more in the discussion items. And then I wanted to just touch base on the other two items I had in my report. First of all, snow makeup day. So in our work calendar, you'll notice that the Friday before Memorial Weekend, it's this weird shaded color and we reserve it as a snow makeup day. And we had one day that we missed of school this year. And so after talking with the principals and looking at the instructional minutes, we are well within what the state expects us to have instructional minutes. So at this time, I would like to recommend not making up the day. It can be, if we had 5 or 6 days that we missed, that would be a different conversation we'd be having. But I think that the amount of chaos it will create because people are going to then just take personal days or they're going to be sick. And so trying to cover that with substitutes on the Friday before Memorial Weekend, it's going to be very difficult.
I
So-
think as long as we have
We're-
they have the
We're
minutes.
well
that
within
show
the
it,
minute. We're
Mhm.
fine. So
And I have no issue.
that makes me happy. Okay, so that was that first recommendation. And then the second one, the second issue, so a week ago, Saturday, so Representative Kramer had reached out on a couple of Mondays before and said, hey, the Joint Ways and Means Committee is doing a road show. And so if you can go in person and testify for the grant we put in for the high school roof, which is $2.8 million, that would be really good. So I got online and signed up, and then it didn't occur to me that, wait a minute, I didn't get notification that, yes, in fact, you have a slot, and this is where you're at in the process. And so then I got to the Portland Community College auditorium and saw hundreds of people there, and I went, oh, this is not gonna go well. And so they basically, everyone who wanted to sign up could, and then they just ran through for 2 hours. They just ran through 3 people at a time. 3 people were on stage, 3 people on deck, 3 people. And it was just a constant stream. And you sat down and you started talking and, gave your 2-minute speech or whatever. And so I made my husband go. And it turned out that Annie and her husband were there because they were testifying on behalf of the Woodburn Fire Station.
Oh.
And fire chief was there, and so was Brian Wagner as part of the community progress team, emergency response team. And so we're sitting there and the chief got to go. So, okay, that's a win for the fire district. But then it's 11:30 and I'm thinking, all right, I never win anything like ever. I went to get a fortune cookie the other day. We had Chinese food. I opened up the first fortune cookie. There was no fortune in it. So my husband said, and my mom was there, well, take the second one. There's an extra one. I opened that. It was empty as well. So that's my luck. At 11:55, Annie and I's names were both called. So we got up there, we were able to testify, and at noon they shut it down. So we were in by the skin of our teeth. I got an email back from Tracy Kramer, well, probably her handler, and that said we made an impression. So
Nice.
I don't know what that means. I'm hoping, I've been looking for the $2.8 million check. It's not shown up yet. That was fun.
So good job.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
was like,
Thank you for going.
Yeah.
I had to buy my husband breakfast. So that was. So, yeah, and the rest of my report will be in the discussion.
Oh, yeah. Board focus, anything? Nothing? Consent items. Anybody have anything on it?
I move that the Jervis District Number 1 Board of Directors approve the consent items as listed in Mass 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and 7.4.
We've had a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And action items. So we have to.
The front chair shorter, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's that one.
I move that the Jervis School District #1 Board of Directors approves the Frontier Charter Academy budget for 2023 through 2024 as shown in action item 4-23-8.1.
Have a motion? Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. First two board voting. What, had a lot, haven't they?
I don't know why.
Keep on dropping. They get in there and they just say, no, you know. So,
Negative comment.
do we have any nominations?
Nope.
Okay, nope, right. What, do we say no? or-
Just ignore it, just move on.
Oh.
You don't have to take action at all.
Turf field.
Okay, I decided that I thought this should probably be an action item where you approve at least the idea of moving through with the project itself. Of course, we would keep you clearly informed about what the projected costs are. But we've been in communication with Joe, and we feel pretty confident on his price point that if we were to do this, that we would be about $350,000 for our portion of it. Karen and I are still trying to work out if in fact we need to do a bid process for that. And so, you know, we're gonna get that nailed down about whether or not we need to do that before obviously moving forward. I would anticipate that by the time we decide or determine what we need to do one way or another, the bond election will have taken place. And then at that point in time, you might want to make some different decisions. If we don't get the grant for the roof at the high school, and we have a bid cost of, $700,000 to replace the high school roof, perhaps you're wanting to spend all of your Frontier Charter money to replace the roof at the high school instead of doing the turf field. Like, I don't know what what you want your conversations to be, but I just wanted to get board approval, official board approval to move forward with this.
That, well, part that we have left over, is that's including the excavation?
That 350 would include the excavation.
Okay. So that's
The
part of that.
shipping, he figured the shipping is around $8,000.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was reading in that. Thanks, sir.
But he
But-
also believes he can get that excavation donated. K&E
That's what I'm
does a
saying.
lot of donation.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because right now,
Right.
we haven't explored any of
Right.
that, so
No.
350 could be.
Yeah.
Almost, materials. At that
It would
point,
be our portion of the materials and
Right.
shipping costs.
So-
Yeah.
because that would be gravels and all that other stuff level. All right, very good. Okay,
You okay with it?
I'm okay with it. You guys okay?
Yep.
I move that the Jervis School District #1 Board of Directors approves to proceed with the turf field plans as shown in action item 4-23-8.3.
Yeah. Motion, second, all in favor?
I
All right. Oh, and just pull on that, reading Creighton's thing on for the health center. Found that little company.
Yes, they're gonna do a walkthrough on Friday, so take the tires of Sam Brown to see what we need to do to
That's awesome. I'm glad he was able to find something.
yeah, I don't know if you saw the article in the Oregonian, I think it was either today or yesterday, that talked about how all the hospitals ended up in the red for 2022. I know that's shocking. Who would have thought that would have happened? But I'm sure that's why Salem Health pulled. They just don't have the finances right now
Sure.
to take on one more thing.
I'm positive that Providence Hub is gonna.
Yeah.
They're going bankrupt
Yeah.
right now. They're
Yeah.
not improving anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in super bad shape.
Mhm.
All of them are.
Would be a problem. So Sandra, I was not seeing, I don't have the letter. Do you guys have a letter in your packet?
Letter of.
Printed that for St. Wasn't sure.
Oh, okay, so Creighton provided a letter. That just basically approves, the board is gonna approve the school-based. Like, Henry, you wanna read what it says so that,
I'm sorry.
I think that she's gonna give it to
this
us.
is
yeah.
the letter that Creighton was able to secure.
So, Dear Oregon Health Authority School-Based Health Center Program. This letter serves as the Jervis School District Board school board letter of support for the opening of a school-based health center in our district. We affirm the following. One, we have approved the remodeling of an existing space on school district property for use of the school board health center. And two, we provide our consent for medical sponsor to open and operate a state certified school-based health center on our district property. We look forward to this exciting opportunity for our district and our community. Please forward and questions to our district school-based health center point of contact, Dr. Creighton Helms, Director of Student Services and Federal Programs. Sure.
Okay. I move that the Jervis School District #1 Board of Directors approves the school-based health center letter as shown in action item 4-23-8.4.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye. Special guidance.
Okay, well, we're on to the bond update. So, at your seat, you're gonna see, I don't know what you call it. Q&A document. It is slated to be mailed out by Eagle Web Press. One document per registered household. Goes out tomorrow. And then, and then on Monday, we're going to mail the brochure on the tax assistance grant.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm gonna be monitoring any kind of feedback we're getting, negative or positive, as I'm forming an FAQ, which will get mailed out the following week to dispel any myths or rumors, misinformation.
Misinformation. Yeah.
You'll also see at your chair, the PAC, the Political Action Committee, ordered 1,000 of these red door hangers. So these will be some of the items that when we go canvassing, people will leave on the door handle if nobody's there. We have 2 banners that I believe the second one got delivered to my house today. That says, support our schools, vote yes. Well, it doesn't say vote yes on the Data Vision banner. They want it to be a bit more neutral, but it's printed on front and back and it will be on their grass.
Oh.
Posted along their grass. It's 8 feet long.
Yes.
2 feet high. And then the second banner actually says vote yes, and that is going to go on Jose Reese's fence going out towards the back way. Then we have 75 of the yard signs being delivered, and they are supposed to be delivered next week. And then so last night we had a PAC meeting. No one showed up.
Oh.
And I personally invited every single person that came to the March meeting who said, yes, I'd like to help. I invited them to the meeting and they did not show up. So, and we had Elvis, the OEA political lobbyist person, held a Zoom meeting for us. And so he came up with a couple of ideas on what we can do. That's called passive engagement. And so a couple of members of the PAC on Thursday night will be sending out 500 text messages saying, have you registered to vote? Support the bond. Let them know if you would like to participate. So we'll do that a couple of times. So if you look at my board report on page 32, I listed canvassing dates. So clearly, because nobody showed up last night, the canvassing date for Friday is not going to happen. But we still have the Saturday event, which is on April 22nd. We have the community cleanup day. And right outside here by where the community cleanup day is, where the people drop off their yard debris and things like that. We've got bouncy houses, a hot dog barbecue going on, and a are you registered to vote? Let's check. If you're not registered to vote, let's get you registered. Here's the card to register to vote. And we'll have all sorts of materials out there. So we expect that we're going to get a lot of people because we have the bouncy houses and the food. always show up for that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the big day, Saturday, April 29th. We're gonna really push that day hard because ballots come out that week. And so your 55 and older crowd always votes as soon as they get their ballots, for the most part. And so we want to get with them that weekend to make sure that they,
They check the right box.
yes, exactly.
What
And
does it
then,
mean by help with Woodburn groups?
well, so our Millennial Reach people have some people from Woodburn. I mean, not only their company, but like Eric Swenson has a crew of people that want to come in and help door knock. And so, but we need to have some Jervis people door knock. We can't just have Woodburn people come
Sure.
do that. And so I am slated to go to the leadership, well, to the senior assembly next Thursday and ask them to partner with some adults on that Saturday. So what we would do is we would just walk with them and have the kids help us with that.
Sure.
So I mean, I think that if we can get 15 people, that's plenty, because it's not like it takes hours to get it done. And the Millennial Reach video, I don't know if you all follow the PAC, the Jervis Bond Facebook page. So I pulled it up today to show the admin team. And we've had, so last week when I met with Christian, we had 300 views. Today we had 540 views this morning.
Oh, nice.
So, and there have been no negative comments, none, which is weird.
It is weird.
And so I thought, I like, are they all secretly meeting behind my back and they're just gonna like throw down on May 16th? I don't know. I don't think you're gonna have any negative stuff. Do you think it translates to votes?
I don't know about that one, but the
Yeah.
negativity, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
is.
think
That's gone,
Okay,
That's good.
which is huge.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
For
it
sure.
is. That's great.
So then in May, the PAC is going to target in-town voters because that's where the lack of voter participation happened, right? We only had 30% voter turnout. But of that 30%, 56% voted yes. So they are going to focus a couple of different mailings on, you need to get your vote out. Did you vote? You have to show up. If you don't show up,
Yeah.
other people are going to decide what happens to your schools.
Yeah, it's just,
So,
the ballot comes to you, so
yeah.
it's just a matter of doing it and then put it in the basket. I guess, and we even have a drop off here in town. don't
We do. We
Yeah,
have
for City
actually,
Hall.
we
Yeah,
have
City
taken
Hall.
a picture of the ballot box and Millennial Reach will be putting it out everywhere. Like, look, here's the box right here in town. And the idea will be on the 16th, the day of election, that we have staff and students all along the street. Vote, vote, vote,
Oh,
kind of
great
thing.
idea.
So. The next video is coming out, I believe, next week, which will feature a prominent senior at Jervis High School. It's hilarious. Angie Torrance' husband is in the video as well.
Oh, is that right?
How did they get him to? That was awesome. And then we're gonna save the other video to kind of gauge, like, okay, where do we think after we canvass a couple times, we start getting people's input to make adjustments on the campaign. So
That is very good that you got in.
yeah, he showed up in a construction vest and a hat and so he'll be in 2 of the 3 videos.
That's great.
So, I'm just trying to, I'm concerned about the canvassing because we really need to be able to door knock. So, we'll get through Saturday with the community cleanup day and see how that goes. With people checking the computer bank and are they registered, that kind of thing. And then I will really work on getting, I know that I could probably get at least 10 or 15 staff members to show up on Saturday, the 29th. If they could each bring a high school kid with them or something like that, then we'll do that.
And that is prom that
I
night,
know, yeah.
but they can do stuff in the morning.
Yeah,
so-
it would be in the morning kind of thing,
From 10 to
9
12 or something.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, it took so little time once we got going.
Yeah.
I'm going
We've
to,
got
I'll keep
10
it to the
we got-
29th and
What
I'll,
do you mean, about 10, 15?
Say again.
Students.
Oh, yeah, about 10 or 15.
how about we, I'll throw in some money to bribe them to get them there with some Starbucks or the coffee ones that I could go to. The Dutch, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
I have no problem with that. I
Okay.
don't have problem giving you $50, $100 and
okay.
get them. I think you can
Actually-
buy people. to
Actually,
do that.
that's a great, and I'll throw in another 100 for a different date, obviously.
Okay,
But I'm gonna commit Lupe and myself on the 29th to door knock.
also me. And I'll get my kids, so I'll have 3.
But
okay,
I don't think I can, with
Fine.
what Ricky's going on
Yeah.
right now, it's, until after he gets through what he's got. So.
totally
But
understand.
it must be in the morning for us. because
Yes.
it's prom that
Yeah,
day.
well, I think we'll hit like 9:30, right? 9:30 to, and again, the more groups we have, the smaller it's called the van, the smaller the van assignment is for the day. And so it doesn't take all that long. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
go from there.
you're gonna do it on that app like you did last time?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
So
Do you need us to download an
I
app?
will, yes, I will send you what to do.
Oh, yeah, my husband's not gonna download, but he'll go with me.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
You just need one. Yeah.
No, I'm
You do only need one, I
Yeah.
think.
I'm like, I'm gonna make you talk in Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, here, I need a script for him, someone, that's what I do.
In the app,
In the app.
in the
tells
app,
you.
it has a script.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
hi, it's Maria here. Oh, hi, Maria. My name's Dandy Stevens. I'm with the Jervis District Bond, or whatever you want to, however you want to introduce yourself. I'm here to talk to you today about the ballot measure. And it gives you the whole thing, and then there's like 3 choices. All right, can I count on your support for the bond? Yes, you're like, great, click, and you walk away. And you never bother them again. No, you click and you walk away and you never bother them again.
As I said, we'll do it together, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm like,
Very good.
make him do the Spanish part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it fun to the Spanish word too.
See?
Nice. So that's what I have about the bond. So more to come. I will be giving you email updates as we're going and text messages.
Perfect.
That good stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Policies,
Policy.
first reading.
Yes, so you have some policy first reading in here. So there's nothing to be really done with them tonight. I'm gonna have Tracy review the cybersecurity one. There's been some conversations about the artificial intelligence app going on, making sure we're kind of where we need to be. And then, as I said, in the board confidential memo, we have to adopt the admissions policy because we have to address how we provide admissions for foster kids. And it has to explicitly state it. So, and then your public complaint policy, which is on page 60. OSBA is just recommending that we align everything to 30 days so that we just always know we have 30 days.
30
And-
days for,
To process
Anything.
complaints, any kind
oh,
of.
yes, yeah.
So a lot of boards actually meet twice a month on a regular basis. They have a work session and a regular session, so they can process complaints in a 20-day window. Since we don't,
Just better go
it's
through.
better to, yeah.
I agree with that.
100%.
Yeah. Ooh. And then, your scholarship application. So I got some feedback from Anna.
It's minimal.
Do you have that? Yeah, yeah, we're good. Okay. And then I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. So senior awards night is May 31st. So I think that you should probably select who your winners are so that they can go to the senior award night on May 31st and learn that they won the scholarships.
So we could do that on May meeting.
Yeah, you have a meeting on it's Tuesday, Wednesday next month because we had to, you might not have been here, Henry, but the sisters are out of town.
Oh,
So,
yeah, May 2nd is.
so we're gonna be May 17th.
Oh, good, because May 3rd is
So depending on who applies, it could even be that if we have a deadline of, say, May 15th, depending on how many you have apply, if you're gonna give out 5 scholarships, but you only have 3 people apply, well, as long as they meet the minimum requirements, they should get the scholarship.
100%.
But you might also have a family member that applies, and so maybe you don't want the whole board to vote.
Oh,
So do you want me to wait and see how many we get and who we get? And go from there?
That probably makes the most sense. I'm not going, I mean,
Yeah.
I know my kid's gonna apply, so
But-
I.
So we've already put it out that we have a.
We have
yeah,
it.
We have not.
The problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna make the adjustments, and so I think if we can get it out at the end of this week to the counselor at the high school.
Yep.
She'll put it out the beginning of next week.
Mhm.
If you make the deadline, maybe the
15th?
May 12th, actually, that's a
Oh,
Friday.
it's a Friday, yep.
Yeah.
So that will give them basically 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 2
And
weeks.
It's very basic scholarship.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they can do
Yeah.
that. and
Yes, as
Okay,
long as we get the word out to them that everybody
That's
knows,
the important part.
that's,
Yeah.
that's all I care.
all right, so we'll do
Perfect.
that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, and then the final thing is, I have a draft letter to OSBA for their shenanigans that they pulled when we went to testify.
oh, about not
Or,
supporting.
Yeah, when we were
Sure.
going to test, I gave you the copy of the letter in last month's board packet. And so basically what I did is I just kind of looked at the key points on what they argued, and I have refuted that. And so, I would suggest you take a look at the letter, and then maybe you want to appoint someone to do the final edits with me. And then I can sign it on your behalf. Or we can sign it together.
I can do that. Edits if you want.
That's what the board wants. We can do it.
I was just surprised.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
no,
Just Google share it. I
Yeah.
can just Google doc share it.
yeah, I mean, it looks fine.
I just don't understand what that, and Jim Green is always so open-minded, that he's always mind on something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean.
Anyway,
2 hours before, huh?
Yeah. Literally, Dave was getting ready to leave shut his laptop down and go. And he looked and he went, what is that?
Yeah. it looks fine. What I read right there. I don't see no issue. I have no issue. I don't really. You guys want a board? Whatever we call that.
Wordsmith.
Wordsmith and things like that. I'm not supposed to use.
Maria, do you want to wordsmith it?
I'm good. I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, I am too. It's
Okay.
fine.
All right,
It's good to go.
I'll get it on letterhead. I'll get the appropriate stuff on both sides and go from there.
No, and it had just the right amount of tone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
which is what I'm sure you were going for.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like 2 hours. I like that. I mean, no, it's absolutely.
Kind of chicken, right? You're like
So,
thinking I'm
100%.
not gonna see it
Yeah.
before I go and do this.
The thing that's so disturbing about it is, a bunch of other schools have the opportunity to have, basically walk us at their own place. We don't have that option.
We don't have those resources.
We're the one, these are the kinds of schools that truly need that,
Yeah,
truly need the training programs for our kiddos and come from underserved, communities.
and there's
In the
people out,
world.
and then there's people out there that want to help that building, got the building together. They
Yeah.
got all started. There was also, it wasn't just the district,
Yeah.
it was the community that put that thing
Yes.
together, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right.
That's it.
So we're going into executive session if you want to close us out.
So we're out of regular, and now we need to read these words. Going to executive session through the school district, number one, school board. District number one, school board, Oregon will hold an executive session under ORS 192-660. Parentheses 2D, under negotiation consultation at the school district conference room via Zoom platform on Tuesday, April 18th, 2018, following the regular